The woman who filed a criminal complaint against New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has spoken publicly for the first time. Brittany Commisso granted an exclusive interview to CBS This Morning and the Albany Times-Union. She is executive assistant #1 in the state attorney general's blistering report that concluded Cuomo sexually harassed 11 women. Commisso claims the governor also groped her. She told national correspondent Jerika Duncan she was scared to come forward before now.
Then they started to be hugs with kisses on the cheek. And then there was at one point a hug. And then when he went to go kiss me on the cheek, he quickly turned his head and he kissed me on the lips.
What did you say?
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything this whole time. People don't understand that this is the governor of the state of New York. There are troopers that are outside of the mansion, and there are some mansion staff. Those troopers that are there, they are not there to protect me. They are there to protect him.
Governor Cuomo denies all of the allegations made against him. On Friday, his lawyers attempted to discredit Commisso's account. Joining me now to dig deeper into all this is Albany Times-Union Capitol Bureau reporter Josh Solomon. Josh, thanks for taking the time with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Josh, first off, the president, the Senate Majority Leader, and the Speaker of the House are now calling for Governor Cuomo's resignation, yet he refuses. Is there a chance he could simply ride this out?
I think the bottom line is it's going to come down to whether the Assembly and the Senate decide to impeach him. He's shown that he doesn't want to back down. Everything that's come out of his camp has said they're going to fight it. And from here on out, it's going to be, do they decide to impeach, which they're moving forward on, and you know, how does that play out, and the time it takes to do that, will it lose some of its steam? Will it lose some of its oomph in terms of the support from the public and where they go forward from here?
Now, the last impeachment in New York was more than a century ago. And because of Cuomo's resistance to resignation, state Democrats, including Assembly Speaker Carl Heastie, are reportedly concerned about getting the impeachment exactly right. So how quickly could things move, and what might the process look like?
Well, for one, we'll know tomorrow a lot more in terms of where we're going from here. The Judiciary Committee, which is the committee that can really move forward with impeachment, they've been the ones doing investigating. They're the ones that are going to dictate the pace here. I've heard similarly from other reports that they want to make sure that they have a full scope, which includes nursing homes, a book deal, political favors, things of that nature. Make sure that they have a robust case when they move forward with all the articles of impeachment. But really, you know, the Assembly can move forward almost as quickly as they want. I mean, we could see tomorrow them picking impeachment managers. That's how fast we could see this move forward.
And right now, Governor Cuomo is also under investigation from the state Judiciary Committee. How has the Attorney General's report impacted that probe?
So it looks like, and again, we'll know more tomorrow, but it looks like they're going to start to fold in some of the concurrent findings in terms of sexual harassment from the AG's report with the Judiciary Committee's report. But the Judiciary Committee was investigating everything under the sun related to Cuomo, which was why they had argued it was taking them so long. But that also opened them up to a lot of critiques from people who said, get on with it. We know that he should be out of office by now, just move forward. And they're saying we want a thorough investigation. And we've seen from Cuomo's office, they're going to fight this with all the legal authority that they can. So it does make some sense that they want a robust case here.
And we know it's not just the governor, but a number of his aides are also accused of being complicit or even trying to cover up some of these allegations. Who are some of these people, and what repercussions might they face?
Sure. And I think that this is part of what makes some folks concerned about, in terms of impeachment, the standard is very different than in terms of Congress. It's willful and corrupt misconduct in office, and that willful and that misconduct there could end up being how it plays out in the office. And you have Cuomo's top communication aides and secretary, who are all kind of this cohort that have pushed back against any scrutiny of the governor that they feel is not fair. They could be folded into this, but ultimately the impeachment is going to be focused, from what we know, on the governor and who's the head of that office, the CEO of the business. If the people under him are also doing wrong things, they're going to go for the top, and they're going to. It would seem to mean that they're going to use that misconduct that they see from the aides, from the communications folks who have been spinning things, according to the AG's report, to show that the governor has created this culture of misconduct in his office, which is why you need to remove him from that office.
And we can't forget that the governor faces yet another investigation for his handling of COVID-19 deaths in New York's nursing homes and potentially using state resources to write and promote his recent book. So what's the status of those investigations?
It's more of a slower drip in terms of information out of those. We know that those investigations, whether it be from federal offices or from state offices, those are continuing forward. Those are moving on. Those who are conducting them are going to conduct them at their own pace. Whether the Judiciary Committee, whether the state lower house is going to fold them in, that'll be the big question, whether they want to include that in their articles of impeachment. They could always revise their articles of impeachment, add on to it, and there is precedent for doing that. But as I talked to one member of the Judiciary Committee, he said, well, then we would kind of have to start to change our case. And we want to make sure our case is uniform going into it and solid. So we may find out a lot more tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be the big day, honestly. And that'll be coming up on a full week of this news cycle, and we'll see where things go.
And speaking of that, Josh, do we have any sense of what we can expect to see on Monday?
The Judiciary Committee has been very quiet, typically in terms of their public stance. Typically in their meetings in regards to the investigation, they gavel in, they go into an executive session, they tell the press, see ya, you come back when they gavel out, and they say, we can't tell you anything. I think tomorrow's going to be a little different. I think there's going to be executive session, but we're going to see them decide the scope and the pace that they want to move forward. Are they going to set the tone and say, we're going to move forward with articles of impeachment, we're actively drafting them, we're going to select our impeachment managers, and we're going to continue on from there? Or are they going to say, we need to take some time, we need to figure out how we're going to include nursing homes, how we're going to include the book deal, how we're going to include political favors? And that what we'll know tomorrow is the pace that they want to go. Is this going to be a sprint, or is this going to be a marathon?
Josh Solomon, thanks for your reporting.
Thank you.